Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Deb Gillard, your host, and today is Friday, June 22nd. Very glad you're with us. Whether you've found us out on the internet, of course, you could probably just Google us and find us. You're going to get to us via YouTube or somewhere. You're going to find our video uploaded. Most importantly, we have a Facebook page for you to communicate with us or us to communicate with you and let you know when shows are uploaded. So when you're out there on your Facebook page, find us on the Owatonna Today Show and give us the old thumbs up like, and then you'll be looped into our information that we pass along as well. Obviously, we are also on in the Owatonna area on cable TV Charter Channel 8. And please do take note of our cell phone numbers and email address on the screen throughout the course of the program. We welcome your information as well about things that are going on in the community and also to suggest perhaps guest ideas or show topics. We, of course, come to you with the great support of our Owatonna Today Show supporters, some organizations and businesses and entities here in the community, and we hope that you, as well as we, appreciate them, tell them thank you, patronize their businesses and support their organizations whenever possible. They include our premier supporters, the City of Owatonna, Express Employment Professionals, Mayo Clinic Health System Owatonna, Owatonna Public Utilities, and Safe and Drug Free Coalition of Steele County. Primary supporters are the Steele County Historical Society, Owatonna Care Center, Little Theater of Owatonna, and Amy Swain Hearing Centers. And our interlude supporters are Abraham Consulting Technologies, A+ Sew and Vac, Glenn Mager and Tim Thomas of the Brickmaker Funeral Home and Medford Funeral Home, Brookdale Senior Living, Sterling House, and Clare Bridge of Owatonna, Carlson Branstad and Company CPAs, ERA Gillespie Real Estate, Fairview Manimal Medical Center, Horizon Eye Care Professionals, Clancher and Son Landscaping and Concrete, Napa Auto Parts, the Owatonna Business Incubator, Pizza Ranch of Owatonna, Profinium Financial, Snap Fitness, Summit Mortgage, and TPS Insurance. And if you or someone you know is interested in show supportership, please get a hold of Leanne at 390-5751. She'll be happy to get you a supporter pack. And if you are ever interested in making a contribution to the program, you can send it to Owatonna Today Show, here comes the frog in the throat, at 1130 North Elm. We are going to take our supporter break. When we come back, we will have show supporter Owatonna Care Center here with us, and we're going to be talking with a couple of our representatives from there. Later on in the program, we'll have Emily Hutchins here from the DNR talking about prairie tours. So please stay with us as we take this break, and we'll be coming right back.
Hello, I'm Shawn McNulty with the Sterling House Assisted Living, a part of Brookdale Senior Living. Our mission is to enrich the lives of those we serve with compassion, respect, excellence, and integrity. We are a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Beth Giltfett of Horizon Eye Care Professionals, eye care you can trust. We're proud supporters of Owatonna Today.
Hi, I'm Glenn Mager.
And I'm Tim Thomas of the Brickmaker Funeral Home, and we're proud to serve the Medford and Owatonna areas with cremation and traditional funeral services.
And we're proud to be a part of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Matthew Butel, and I play Huey.
And I'm Carolyn Stauffer, and I play Pigtail, an LTO's current production of The Three Little Pigs Out West, directed by John Terrell and sponsored by Federated Insurance.
Performances of The Three Little Pigs Out West will be held Friday and Saturday, June 15th and 16th at 7:30 p.m. with a matinee on Sunday, June 17th at 2 p.m.
And again the following Thursday through Saturday, June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at 7:30 p.m.
Tickets are available at the LTO box office by calling 451-0764.
Don't miss LTO's production of Three Little Pigs Out West.
Welcome back, and thanks again for joining us on this Friday, June 22nd. And as I mentioned, we have a couple of representatives here to talk about the Owatonna Care Center, one of our show supporters, and we thank you for that. We have Kelia Shafer with us. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Last time we saw you, we were on location, and you are, of course, the social worker at Owatonna Care Center, correct? It's nice to see you again.
You too, thank you.
And today we have Kristin Surdy, did I get that right, joining us as well? Yep. And you have been at Owatonna Care Center for how long, Kristin?
Actually, I've been with the company for a year, but I made the transition from the Faribault Care Center to the Owatonna one just in January. So it's wonderful. Now I just live a few minutes from home.
Very nice. And have you lived in the Owatonna Steele County area for a long
about
time?
3 years. But you know, as a nurse, there's all kinds of different jobs you can have in the nursing field, and I actually worked in the metro and commuted for years. Oof. And so it's wonderful to finally be home.
To be located here. Yep. The commute's only a couple minutes,
much it's wonderful.
More pleasant. Yep. I would agree.
Yep.
A lot of people do that all the time.
Makes life a lot easier.
But it does. And so you are an RN, and also your title then at the care center is what?
I'm the MDS coordinator.
Okay.
So it's my job to do the assessments on every resident in the building at least every 3 months. Our folks that are covered by Medicare, we actually do assessments on them multiple times a month just to determine the level of care that they require, their medical diagnosis. And from the information I put into the computer, it comes up with what's called a RUG rate, and that's what helps determine what the cost is for the resident to stay per day.
Okay.
Basically, it translates to how much money does Medicare pay us per day or Medicaid pay us per day to take care of this particular resident.
Okay.
So that's my job.
And this is something that goes on at all
care
similar
centers.
care centers.
Yeah.
And MDS actually stands for what?
Minimum data set.
Okay.
And it started out years ago as just a basic assessment that the Department of Health needed us to do on each person to look at everything, figure out how we need to care for that person. And then over the years, it's really been very closely tied to the actual RUG rate or the room rate. Mm-hmm. So it's actually really an important assessment that we've all been doing for years, but now it's really financially based.
Okay, and it's very then standardized across the industry, isn't it?
It is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we want to talk about, last time we were out, we had the pleasure of joining you, and I know we were just there where Leanne was with Penny, the therapy dog as well, but we didn't get too much of a look around. But last time we were at the facility, we were looking at some of the wonderful improvements that were going on, and those continue, don't they? What has been happening since we were last there?
Yep, we've done a lot of painting on the outside of our building, just trying to update it. We completely redid the back courtyard, which is where it's a safe environment for our residents to go and spend time outside with their loved ones and with each other. We do a lot of barbecuing out there and just general get-togethers. Yep. And we will be also repainting the inside, just trying to give it a fresh look and redoing the great day room that we were in before. We'll be redoing that later this year.
I remember you talking about that. We were standing in there and you were talking about some of the updates that were going to be happening. Some of the rooms were being redone as well, and they were a little more, I don't know, amenable, more home-like, I think they were ending up to be. And of course, your care facilities have changed a lot over the years, haven't they?
Yes, they have. And that's what we're trying to do, is trying to make it feel more like home rather than you're going to an institution.
Right.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, it certainly did when we were there, and I know the residents seem to feel very at home, and I know that you very much try to keep up that family atmosphere. What are some of the, let's talk about some of the overall services that are provided by the Owatonna Care Center. So we're talking, do people still use the word nursing home?
We do. We certainly do use nursing home. I think years ago there was such a focus on long-term care residents that you would get folks that would come in and they would literally reside there until they passed away. Nowadays it's really a mix. We have a great surge in population for what's called short stay rehab, which just means it's the folks that really, maybe they've had surgery and they're just not ready to go home yet. So they come to our place, I'd say average of 3 to 4 weeks, get some real intensive therapy, and then they head home. But they also will always have the option to stay with us. And once in a while we get someone who comes in the door, family thinks, let's get them a little bit of therapy and head home, and they never really get back to where they were before, and then it's great, then they can stay with us.
And this could span ages from whatever.
I think these days there's just a lot more younger people, even in their 50s, that maybe were in a car accident or a motorcycle accident, have substantial injuries but really don't require hospitalization anymore. They come and they stay with us. And get just fabulous therapy. Our therapy program is really, really good.
Well, let's talk about that. What do you, I know, and we visited one of the rooms that we were there. So when you're talking about therapy, there are various kinds of therapy. What might we be talking about?
We're looking at physical, occupational, and speech therapy.
All right.
It's very intensive, especially for the folks who are covered by Medicare. It's a lot of therapy that Medicare is very willing to pay, which is a wonderful benefit. But anyways, it's a lot of hard work, and we get the folks that come in that have multiple therapy sessions a day. It's hard work. They're the first to tell you they're very tired by bedtime, but that way we get them rehabbed and back to their other life soon.
For those that may not understand, obviously speech therapy kind of speaks for itself, and no pun intended there. But and physical therapy also says what it is.
Occupational therapy, what does that cover?
Occupational therapy is more, it focuses on tasks. Like for instance, if you have somebody with a brand new stroke, physical therapy is going to help them with mobility, help them to get stronger, possibly walk again. Occupational therapy tends to work more with the like activities of daily living. Reteaches them how do you get dressed in the morning. Maybe they have a side that's affected now after a stroke, so they kind of have to relearn things in a new way to accommodate their new disability or their setback.
So maybe what you're talking about, just our daily, the things that we, right now, if we don't have those issues, take for granted. The brushing of my teeth, the combing of my hair, the getting dressed, the putting on socks, all those types of things. So you want them to be able to transition back into where they're going. Okay, there are other types of care. So we're talking about short stay or long term, in or outpatient type of facilities, and you're also connected with hospice care, correct? So if someone needs that, and let's just re-identify. We've had guests on before when we've talked about hospice, but if we can kind of re-identify what hospice care is.
Hospice care is basically end-of-life care. So if somebody has a terminal illness or they're just not getting better, they will never get back to where they want to be, and they want to just be comfortable and have good quality life at the end of their life versus quantity necessarily. So they'll decide to go on hospice, which is basically making them comfortable. Some people choose to do hospice at home. Some people choose to do hospice in a skilled nursing facility like us. So we partner with several different hospice agencies in the area, and basically they'll come in and, again, just making sure that they're very comfortable, so we're not taking them to the hospital all the time for all these checkups, and we're not sending them to the emergency room for all these things. It's just very much, again, making them comfortable so that they can enjoy, what little time they have left.
And I know that hospice care, and I've had experiences with it personally and also heard it talked about, it is very much also for the other family members, too.
Exactly.
It's helping everyone with that end-of-life transition, and it's very nice to know that you have that available. Let's talk about something called respite care. Is that
respite care? This would be more of your person who isn't going to be residing with you. They're just simply going to come and stay. Like for instance, maybe they were at home and they're a hospice patient and they've had caregivers that have taken care of them at home, but maybe something comes up and the caregiver themselves is ill and is hospitalized. Then it leaves family in a bind to say, now what do we do? How can we take care of this person? A lot of hospice agencies will help provide some care in home, but a lot of times they can't do 24-hour care. So then in that case, they would come to us just for a short period of time, maybe even a long weekend, and we take care of them as if they're one of our residents, and then in a handful of days they return back home to their environment.
Well, what a great service to offer there as well. Just gives people a lot of different options for care and for knowing that their loved ones are taken care of. Well, we have covered the time in no time, and I know we'll have you back on again as a show supporter, so it was wonderful to meet you, Kristin.
Yes, nice to meet you.
And do a great job at the Owatonna Care Center, and nice to have you on again, Kelia.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much again for the show supportership, and you guys have a great day.
For inviting us.
All right, we'll take a break for our supporters, and we'll be right back.
I'm Diane Wilson of Profinium Financial, the bank that helps you achieve your financial dreams. Profinium Financial is proud to be a supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, Ann Plaskanko here from Senior Place. Senior Place has new hours. Mondays and Fridays we're open 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Participate in Zumba Gold, Bike Club, table tennis, computer classes, speakers, and much more. Don't forget the Senior Place Partnership Program with 39 businesses giving discounts and incentives with your Senior Place membership card. Membership is only $35 for the year, which comes to just $3 a month to be a member. Consider joining us today.
Hello, I'm Matthew Camp, the new plastic surgeon at Mayo Clinic Health System of Owatonna and Albert Lea. I trained in medical school at Wake Forest in North Carolina and completed plastic surgery training in Southern California at Loma Linda. Plastic surgeons provide a wide range of aesthetic and reconstructive surgery. We operate from head to toe. I look forward to meeting you.
Hi, I'm Brenda Bednar with Summit Mortgage, and I'm a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
I needed more than just another dead-end job. I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
With the kids off to college, I decided it was time for me to go back to work and express myself. Express got me in touch with some really great companies. Now I'm on my way to a great career.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
So which camera?
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are so glad you're with us here on this Friday, June 22nd. And we have Emily Hutchins with us, as promised, from the DNR. And I'm going to have you give us your whole title so I don't mess it up.
Well, they call me a private lands wildlife specialist.
Okay.
And so my job has changed a little bit since I first started with the department, but it is mostly to provide technical assistance to private land groups and private land organizations. Like I assist the soil and water conservation districts with landowner plans and provide technical assistance to other private land agencies. I do a lot of information and outreach programs, so workshops, field tours, presentations and that sort of thing.
Okay, keeps you busy.
Oh, yes.
All right. So that's private lands wildlife specialist. And we've had you on before.
Yeah, a couple
Most
times.
Specifically, what were we talking about last time? I was trying to think if you were tied in with another event.
Prescribed burning was one. I know we talked about that. Okay. And I think I was gardening with native plants, perhaps.
Okay, we might have talked about that. So a lot of different things fall under your category, don't they? And one of the things, too, that we want to talk most about today is the prairie tours. So you're out there doing outreach, and you're out there in the community and making sure that we know about what's going on with our DNR. And you just had a prairie tour, correct?
I did, yeah. On June 8th, I held a prairie tour up in, actually down in Hayfield. And we took a look at a couple of scientific and natural areas, which is state-owned property, but it's not hunting land. It's more or less activities that are light on the land. So, you know, nature observation, photography, snowshoeing, those types of things. So we had a group of about 21 people. It was on a Friday. We had some agency folks and some private landowners, or just, you know, general public interested in learning more about prairie life. And so it was a great day. I think people learned a lot. We saw some interesting birds, some endangered plants. Yeah, it was a good day.
Things for us to be aware of. And so you have another one of those coming up on June 30th.
On June 30th, which
and how is this one planned then?
So that one is on a Saturday, so we might not get as many agency people this time around, so that opens it up more to private landowners and just, you know, the general public interested in learning more about prairie life. We'll be looking at, again, prairie birds and plants. The sites that we're going to be going to, one of them is called Kester Prairie. They're both private land, actually. And so this is kind of a unique opportunity for people to take a look at what other private landowners are doing on their land.
Where you wouldn't normally have that opportunity, obviously, to be on someone's private land.
Because it's private land, and so we did get access permission from the landowners. One of them is, it's called Kester Prairie, and it's about 260 acres, so it's a fairly large chunk of grassland up in Rice County by Denison. Half of it has recently been put into the Native Prairie Bank program, which is a perpetual easement to protect it, to prevent, you know, development or agricultural development on it. So, and then the other half we're still working on. That property is undergoing restoration, and so we still have a fair amount of work to do on it. It had been grazed up until 2009.
Fairly recently.
So we're just doing prescribed burns and invasive plant management on it right now. What's really neat about this site is the topography. It's not typical southern Minnesota topography. It's got like flat-topped buttes almost. So it almost looks a little more like South Dakota.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a very neat site, and just the sheer size of it is what's really impressive.
That is really impressive.
So great place to see prairie birds too.
So how will the day play out? It's on a Saturday, you said, and is it a full day of activities?
Yep. We're going to meet in Denison at between 8:30 and 9. We do have a size limit to the group because if it gets too large, it's just difficult to, you know, keep everybody together and make the most of it. So if people would like to register, they can contact me. and we'll have my information available.
There it is, as a matter of fact, your phone number and your
Great.
email. Okay.
So they can contact me, and then at that time, I will give them information on where we will meet and, you know, meeting location and parking and all that. So.
Okay. All right. So the general public, I might be interested because?
Because it's rare, number one. We don't have a whole lot left of remnant prairies in southern Minnesota. So I give people a great chance to see, you know, what this area kind of looked like before European settlement.
Very nice.
They'll see some interesting plants. They'll learn some of the prairie birds that live in the area. Every time I'm out there, I flush a bird off a nest.
Okay.
You know, whether it's a meadowlark or a clay-colored sparrow or whatever. So it's just neat to, you know, get right out there on the ground and have a look at what's going on out in the prairie.
And really see the habitat that's being utilized.
Right. And, you know, it's an excellent opportunity to take a look at a piece of land that's being managed that they normally wouldn't be able to.
Okay.
Now, the second site we're going to go to is called McKnight Prairie. It's actually owned by Carleton College in Goodhue County, actually. So it's privately owned, but technically that one is open to the public. It's a dry sand prairie. That one was grazed in the past.
Okay.
However, it was a couple decades ago, and so it's grazing can be a good management tool, but when overgrazing occurs, that's when the plant community is suppressed.
Right.
So with proper grazing, I don't want to, you know, make grazing sound bad because it's an excellent management tool. But that site has been out of continuous grazing for quite a while, and it's amazing. So we're going to look at kind of a site that's undergoing restoration first, and then go to like a top quality prairie afterwards, so people can see the difference.
And what did you call this site again? It's called what?
McKnight Prairie.
Okay, McKnight, but it's sand?
It's a sand prairie. It's very dry and sandy, which is why it was never cropped, because it's just, it can't sustain crops. And so it's got this dry sand prairie community on it.
Okay.
So we'll see some really cool plants there too.
Some very different things maybe than you might see in the first part of the day.
Yeah. The first part does have some sandy areas too, but the second site I think is a lot drier.
Okay.
So.
Now, transportation to and from, once they're there, do you just move together from in everyone's vehicle from one to the other, or is there a bus, or how does that all work?
We're not going to have a bus. We are going to carpool or caravan from one point to the next. We might try to combine people into vehicles just so there's not as much of a, you know, a big parade on the road and parking issues, but it will be mostly on gravel roads. So. Just so people know that. And it will be uneven terrain, some slopes, and so hiking will be required, so people are going to want to dress accordingly, wear appropriate footwear, you know, bring sunscreen, a hat,
bug spray,
water.
Water, yes, very important.
And
have all the things that you might think
items.
of if you're going to basically be out hiking for the day.
Yes.
You're just plan for it. That's what you're going to be doing. It's not, you know, you need to have some physical activity, and you're going to be out in the sun and the elements, so you need to plan for that as well. Is there a charge for this? Is there a cost for it?
No, it's a free workshop.
Wonderful. So anyone having any interest in it, like Emily said, someone who is perhaps a private landowner and wonders how these things happen, you're going to see a couple of great, well, kind of in process and then post process, basically. And or anyone who's just from the general public that might be interested. It sounds absolutely fascinating.
It should be a fun day. The one on the 8th was a lot of fun, and I think people learned a lot and saw some really neat things.
Okay. You also, we should mention too, and I know we'll be mentioning this also, so just briefly, Emily will be at the History Center, I know, doing a presentation. The Steele County Historical Society is going to be featuring an exhibit that we've mentioned, I think, just once to our viewers, A History of Wildlife, the People and Land of Steele County. Obviously, that falls under your domain, and I know that they're going to have others there speaking after you, but I think you're first in the series coming up on June 28th.
Right.
And going to be talking more or less about native birds and the natural history of Steele County.
Steele County,
So tying it in with our wonderful new History Center, and we'll look forward to seeing you there as well. I know we had your contact information up, and we have it on there again. If you have questions for Emily about anything that she has talked about today,
give me a call or
what
send
you
me
do
an
on
email.
a daily basis, or want to take part in the Prairie Tour, as she said, give her a call, send her an email, and she'll be happy to get you signed up or address your questions. So thank you very much for joining us, and have a very successful Prairie Tour coming up on the 30th. Thank you again. We'll take a break for our supporters, and we'll be back to wrap up.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Jake with Napa Auto Parts.
Napa has the know-how for all your automotive needs.
Napa is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
You know how to safely dispose of your expired or unused prescription and non-prescription medications? Not by flushing them down the toilet or putting them in the garbage. Doing so pollutes our rivers, streams, and drinking water supply. Take it to the box instead for safe, secure disposal. It's easy. Bring your unused medications in their original containers to the drop-off locations listed on the screen and drop them in the Take It to the Box drop box. Proper disposal of unwanted medications keeps them out of the hands of children and out of our environment. This is a message from the Safe and Drug-Free Coalition of Steele County.
Hi, I'm Jan Hansen, and I am at A+ So and Back, the fun place to be. We are proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back, and it is time to wrap up our program here on this Friday, June 22nd. And as we mentioned when we were just talking with Emily Hutchins, we mentioned that new exhibit that is going on at the History Center, Steele County History Center, A History of Wildlife, the People and Land of Steele County. It's going to cover a lot of great things just in the exhibit, and they are having those speakers. Emily will be there on Thursday, June 28th at 7 p.m. in the History Center Wenger Room. Following that, Rick Erpelding, I think I got it right, of the DNR. His topic is going to be Wildlife of Steele County, and he will be there on Thursday, July 12th. And as I flip the page over here, Greg Oswald of Oswald Fisheries will be on hand on Thursday, August 2nd to talk about fish farming and bait production. So all tied in with the exhibit that they have at the History Center, so some great things to attend. And we know that this History Center has so many more opportunities for us now. We encourage one and all to take advantage of the History Center itself and the great exhibits that are there, as well as the wonderful programs that they're able to have now with the various rooms and the roundtable discussions and those types of things. One last time, we'll probably remind you of this. The Owatonna Foundation is making available $10,000 to assist students attending non-four-year programs at technical community colleges to prepare themselves for technical careers. Scholarship awards range from $500 to $3,000, and eligibility requirements are that recipients have an Owatonna mailing address or have worked at an Owatonna business for at least the last 2 years. You need a GED or have graduated from high school prior to or with the class of 2011. Now, the reason I say it's probably the last time I'll mention it is because the applications for these non-traditional scholarships are due June 25th, this coming Monday. If you haven't gotten it started, you want to get and think you might be able to take advantage of the scholarships or know someone who is, direct them to the Foundation's website or to Jill Holmes. The Foundation is www.owatonnafoundation.org, or Jill Holmes can get you an application and information as well. She can be reached at 455-3059, a great opportunity for some of those non-traditional scholarships. As we continue with events that are going on this summer, please remember that the Steele County Environmental Services has those labeled containers to deposit empty, recyclable cans and bottles. So if you don't just want the garbage sitting out there and you really should be into recycling and having a place for your guests to put those things, because many of them are looking for places. Most of us have a real hard time throwing plastic and aluminum into the garbage if we aren't given an opportunity. They are free to loan out. So if you've got a graduation, you've got a wedding reception, you've got a family reunion, you've got anything going on, get a hold of the Steele County Recycling hotline at 451-5443, and they'll be happy to get you as many of those containers as you would like to take advantage of. Coming up on next week's programs for the Owatonna Today Show, we will have our City of Owatonna update. We will be talking the Steele County Free Fair Build the Barns Bash that's coming up. We'll have a little footage from Leanne's recent trip to Michigan. We'll be talking July 4th fireworks, Relay for Life, and the Harry Wenger Marching Band Festival. Some wonderful footage from that event that just took place. So please join us next week. Until then, you have a great weekend.